A Harley-Davidson, built in China, then shipped to America, but not to be sold. I'm your host, Justin Bird, and this is The Word. Back in June of 2018, Harley-Davidson was in the headlines for essentially being caught in the middle of a tariff war between the United States and the European Union. But the problem with mainstream media and most of those who consume it is that headlines can be very misleading. Like this one, and this one, and this one. At first glance, it's easy to see why HD purists were grabbing their pitchforks and strapping on their leather do-rags. But the full story was far less dramatic. Without going into the nitty-gritty details of it, essentially all bikes that were bound for the US were going to be continued to be made in the US, while bikes for the European and Asian market were going to be manufactured in China and Vietnam. This move would essentially allow Harley-Davidson to save about $2,000 per motorcycle for the ones sold overseas. Essentially what that angry Harley crowd needed to hear is that no bike made overseas was going to be imported into the US. Until now, that is. Paperwork initially uncovered by CycleWorld showed that Harley-Davidson was seeking certification to import the Chinese-made X350 into the US. But there was more than meets the eye with these documents. It was actually the X350RA that Harley was attempting to bring to US soil, but not to sell it. With the current fleet of Street 500s being discontinued, the X350RA, the RA standing for Riders Academy, will be taking its place. Let's take a look at exactly what this bike has to offer. The X350RA will be built by Harley's Chinese partner QJ Motor, which is a sister company to Benelli. It's powered by a 353cc liquid-cooled parallel V-twin borrowed from QJ's SRK 350. It will produce 36 horsepower and just under 23 foot-pounds of torque that it will push through a 6-speed transmission. The bike features both a trellis frame and a tubular swing arm, likely to keep weight as low as possible. For suspension, the X350RA features an offset monoshock in the rear and inverted 41mm forks up front. The 17-inch alloy wheels will be wrapped in Pirelli Angel ST tires and will utilize a dual disc brake in the front and a single in the rear. Couple all of this with ABS, a 440-pound operating weight, and a 30-inch seat height, and it's easy to see how this could be considered an excellent bike for a first-time rider. I feel like touching anything with Chinese and Harley in the same sentence is like playing with fire. But let's strip away both brand and national identity and just look at the facts. Say you own a motorcycle dealership with your own Riders Academy. While not everyone that walks through that door is going to be completely new to riding, some, if not most, will be. Now let's take a look at who is riding your bikes. On one end, we have 6'4", 280-pound Terry, and on the other side, we have 5'1", 130-pound Susie. Now let me ask you this. Assuming all the bikes are going to be the same, are you going to throw them on a $50,000, 1,100-pound bagger? Or would something like a $4,000, 440-pound X350RA make a little bit more sense? But while I think this bike is great for a riding academy, I'm having a hard time seeing how this isn't a major risk to HD's brand. Only reason being, there's really nothing in HD's current lineup that matches up with the X350. At least not in the American market, because the X350 non-RA version is going to be sold in China, but not in the US. Arguably the closest match in the American market would be the Pan America, but it weighs 100 pounds more and has 900 more cc's. I guess one could argue that with a younger, more import-friendly crowd coming through the door, that Harley's using this opportunity as more of an unofficial branding experiment, which smartly enough would allow them to play both sides of the fence. If they're getting such feedback as, "I hate this Chinese piece of crap," they can take the stance of, "Look, we get it, this is just for the Riders Academy. If you want something more powerful and American-made, check out this bike over here." While at the same time, if they get more positive feedback around things like a more ergonomic rider's triangle and a lighter feel, I'm sure the dealers will be feeding that information up to the top to hopefully greenlight some other projects to possibly add some more beginner-friendly bikes to the lineup. In today's world, it's really hard to tell if I'm reading the tea leaves just right and Harley's thinking 3 steps ahead, or if Harley's just trying to replace the Riders Academy fleet at the cheapest possible price to make the shareholders happy. But I'm neither a dealer nor a shareholder, so I'll just sit back and watch this experiment play out. I've been your host, Justin Bird, and that is The Word. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.